Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today we are in day 3 of the 5-star Bloody Battle raid tournament with no greens. I'm going to feature my 5 raid flags with commentary. Today's featured hero is going to be Naeem. Naeem is average mana speed. All buffs affecting attack, defense, and mana generation on the target and nearby enemies are transformed into matching uncleansable ailments. Deals 330% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The caster and nearby allies counterattack with 145% of the damage received for 4 turns. The caster and nearby allies get sand touch for 4 turns, which basically gives enemies sand damage over time if the counter attack is activated when they use their special or even just regular attacks for the counter attack. Obviously, that's not going to work so good against glass costumes, which we've been seeing quite a bit these first couple days, but I do think that Naeem can still be effective against the non-glass costumes. And then even the glass costumes, their regular attacks does work for the counter attack. It's just their special that bypasses the defensive buffs. All right, so for this first team, we are actually going to go up against 4 glass costumes. They've got a glass Demicia tank team, a glass Marjana, the pirate Marjana with the elemental defense down, glass Sartana, and glass Richard. I am going to add in some yellows in here and then maybe a couple reds. All right, so I brought in Toon Leonidas, Thura, my red Ascension Mimic, and then also Domi Ventus as well. Let's see how this first flag here goes. Let's start off with the greens and reds in the middle there. All right, got a couple yellows. Let's match the 3 purples horizontally to set off that cascade of yellows. Now I'm going to match the 3 yellows up against glass Marjana. Hopefully we get a yellow somewhere in the bottom there. We got one, just not in the right spot. That's okay. We can match these 4 greens. That yellow will stay there, and then I can match 4 yellows next turn. It's going to give me Thura and Leonidas. Let's use them on the middle 3, I think. Yeah. Now I'm going to use Leonidas on glass Marjana to cut her mana. Probably should have used... Ugh, of course she evaded it. I probably should have used her against glass Demicia, the tank, so I could get some extra damage. But let's hit this yellow dragon for that 1 red tile too. I'm going to hit the green dragon so I can match some reds next turn. Got a couple reds as well. Nice dodge by Naeem. That's a lot of damage to Thura right there. All right, let's match these 3 reds, or actually, let's match the 3 purples to set off the cascade of 3 reds. Give me a yellow on the bottom. Please kill Demicia. Oh my god, that was so close. I'm going to use Domi Ventus on the 3 in the middle here. All right. Demicia is dead. Marjana's going to go off anyway, so let's match some tiles over there. Let's match these 3 greens over here. Make a way I can match some yellows next turn. Gonna match the 3 yellows up against Marjana, then I can match some reds next turn and get my red specials if they're still alive. Alright, Naeem's dead. Trying not to set off Marjana if I can avoid it. I think this 1 tile is going to, but I need that special for the red mimic, so hopefully it does not, and it did not. Cool, we should be able to kill Marjana. Hopefully she does not evade it. Please do not evade. Awesome. Actually, the mimic has the never misses passive, or part of a special. Actually, no, I think it's part of it. It's a passive. Anyway, all right. Let's match these reds and blues now. That should give me Domi Ventus, I think. Perfect. and my Ascension Mimic. Awesome. Let's use the Ascension Mimic over here so that he can kill Marjana and get some mana. And actually, I can't get any health because it's Bloody Battle. And then let's use Domi Ventus on Sartana. Or actually, got a better chance of killing Richard over the next few turns. So let's do that. Let's match these 3 reds. 2 of them will be ghosted. Thinking about hitting the yellow diamond. That should kill Richard. Yeah, definitely will. And then we can maybe get a red on the right. Nope. Alright, Sartana's going to go off anyway. Let's match the 3 blues up the middle here. Maybe I can get a red. No red. I really need some red tiles. Thank you. And we're going to get both of them before either one of them dies. Nice cascade with those reds. We might win this battle here. Awesome. All right, we are 1 for 1 to start the day. Didn't really get to use the effect from Name because I think he died before I even got to use the special, but we were able to clutch out a win. Next up, we've got a Glass Sartana tank team. They've also got Glass Magni, Glass Marjana, and then Scroll Beast and Iacantha. I am going to keep the same team here, I think. Yeah. I'm going to start off with the 3 yellows with that little cascade of blues. Give me a red somewhere in there. Nice. Let's match those 4 reds. Gonna match the 3 yellows on the left before they get separated. Sartana's gonna go off anyway. Thinking about matching the 3 reds up the middle. That's gonna give me Domi Ventus at least, and maybe Name. Not quite. More concerned about Scroll Beast on the right than I am the 2 on the left, so we're going to hit the 3 in the middle rightish over here area. And then let's match these 3 yellows. That will give me Thura and Leonidas. Let's use Thura on those 3 also. Of course, Marjana evaded. Let's see if we can... I really want to hit Marjana and at least cut her mana with Leonidas. Yeah, we gotta take a chance. Hopefully this does not evade again. And she does. Let's match these reds over here. That's going to give me Name and my Ascension Mimic. Hopefully the Mimic doesn't get hit. Nice. How many more turns do I have this extra evade for? 2 more turns. It's 15% chance. The Mimic won't miss because of his passive, so let's use him at least. Awesome. And how much health does Scroll Beast have? 556. He's got the bleed damage, which is 287 per turn, so he'll die over the next 2 turns. Yeah, just from the bleed damage. Okay, so we're going to leave him alone. Let's use Name on the left. And then I'm going to try to ghost some tiles in the middle without sending anybody off, hopefully. Nice. Alright, Iacantha's going off anyway. Let's ghost these 3 red tiles up the middle. Maybe we can get some counterattack action. And we are. Just kidding. She had the Master Pierce with her Ranger talents. Cool. Alright, let's use Domi Ventus first and then the Mimic and see what kind of damage this does. Alright. Let's ghost these 3 reds. That'll give me Name, and maybe we can finish off with him. Actually, the bleed damage is probably going to kill Magni anyway. And it did. Awesome. All right. We are now 2 for 2 today. Next up, we've got a Toon Richard tank team. So I'm going to take away some of my reds. Obviously, got to keep Naeem in there. And take out these guys. Gonna take out Thura and Leonidas. And then let's see what we've got for blues, maybe. I might bring in Richard and Magni myself. Yeah. And I might bring in Sartana and maybe Toon Domitia. We'll bring a Toon team in with Naeem. They'll have a good chance to resist the bleed damage from Gold Drip. And yeah, let's go with this. I am going to start off with a bunch of cascades. We're going to start off with the 3 greens horizontally up top. That's going to cascade the reds and the blues underneath. Alright, was hoping for a little more than that. Next, I'm going to match these 3 reds on the top left, I think. Yeah. And nice cascade. Now I can get Naeem and get the counterattack going before Gongoth goes off, although taunts for 1 more turn, so let's wait until that goes away. Let's match the yellows and blues here in the middle, I think. No, I don't want to do that because that could potentially set off Richard if there's more of a cascade. Let's match these 3 yellows up top against Gold Drip. And we're going to hit the 3 in the middle with Naeem. Let's match these yellows and blues. Nice cascade of purples. Hit the 3 in the middle. Still a good amount of counterattack, as you saw, though. Alright, let's match these 3 purples here. That should kill Gongoth or close to it. Let's match the 3 purples all the way on the right. That's going to give me Domitia and Sartana. Alright, Gongoth is dead. I think I want to kill Dunnerheart before he goes off. Yeah. Not quite enough. Let's match these reds over here. Nice cascade of blues. Richard is dead. Gold Drip's going to go off. But we've got the counterattack, so he actually may die from this. And he did. Awesome. Now, let's definitely use Richard and Magni against Lee Q since they do extra damage to red. Might kill him. Perfect. And Naeem should be able to finish off Dunnerheart. Awesome. All right, we are 3 for 3 today. Definitely got to see the impact from the counterattack, which is a very high counterattack percentage. So that worked out nicely. For this battle, we've got an Ascian tank team. They've also got Hrothgar, Lee Q, Pertinax, and Medea. I might keep this same team because I want to resist the ailment from Ascian and then also the instant mana reduction from Hrothgar and the negative mana ailment. Yeah, so let's keep this same team here. Nice. I've got a blue diamond I can match right from the start. We are definitely going to take that, right? Yeah. And let's hit that blue diamond. That way we can get our blue specials right off the rip. I do need to wait for Lee Q's auto taunt to go away, though. So let's match these 4 purples here in the middle. That's going to give me Sartana. And then I'm more concerned about the ones here on the right. So let's use Richard on the main part of Richard against Frothgar. I'm going to use Magni up against Lee Q since he does extra damage to red. And then let's use Sartana on Frothgar. See if we can kill him with that, or close to it. Almost. That poison damage should definitely kill him the next turn, though. All right, let's match these greens and purples here in the middle. That's going to give me Domitia. Let's use Domitia on Lee Q. Kill him. I'm going to hit this purple, or this green dragon, rather. The purple tiles should kill Ascian. I've got a cascade of purples over there on the right. Let's use Sartana against Pertinax. See if we can kill Pertinax before they go off. Not quite. I do have the purple tiles here. Yeah, let's use those. I had the red diamond option, but I've only got 1 red, and I don't think it would have killed Pertinax, so that's why I matched that way. Let's match these reds and yellows here. And I think this is the first time that Name's going to be going off, and he's going to end the battle, hopefully. Not quite. But he can end the battle this time. Awesome. All right, we are 4 for 4 today. Next up, we are going to go up against an Atlantia tank team. They've also got, is that Zaza? Yep. And then they've got Medea. They've got 2 Medeas. Actually, one of them is a ranger, one of them is a fighter from their costume, and then they've also got Auricork. All right, I am thinking about keeping the same team here. Yes. I like the tunes to potentially resist the shifting Miles attack as well, and then also the ailment from Atlantia. I am going to start off with... thinking about the yellow diamond up top to tile dump when I need to, but it doesn't look like that's going to set off any cascades. And I like these 3 greens horizontally to set off the purples and blues underneath, and then the blues, the reds. And some more reds. Awesome. Definitely happy about that move. I am next going to... I have a couple options for yellow diamonds I can match, but I don't have any yellows. And again, it doesn't really give me any cascades that would potentially happen. So I'm going to match these 4 yellows up the middle toward the left up against Atlantia. That's going to set a cascade of the 4 reds. Or I could just match 3 yellow. No, I can't. Let's do the 4 yellows. Nice cascade of purples as well, and some more stuff. Kill Atlantia, please. Maybe the purple tiles. Not quite. Alright, looks like a couple people resisted. Richard and Sartana. Everybody else got that frost or whatever damage she gives. Alright, let's hit the 3 in the middle with Naeem. That should kill Atlantia. Perfect. And then I'm going to hit one of the Medeas with Sartana. Let's hit this one on the left. It looks a little more damaged. I'm going to match these 4 reds now. Actually, you know what? I want to match some blues so that I can get my blue specials. Let's match the blues on the right, because I don't want a chance setting off this the Medea on the left, where her mana is almost full. Alright, let's kill off Medea. I'm going to use the main part of Richard on Zaza, since the minor damage will kill Medea. And then let's use Magni up against Medea. And then trying not to set her off if I can avoid it. Let's ghost these 3 purples. Ooh, I thought that Cascade might do it, but it did not. Nice. Let's kill off Medea, go some blue tiles. Got a nice red diamond as a Cascade. I'll take that. Let's hit this red diamond. That's going to give me Naeem right back. And the counterattack should work nicely here, hopefully. Just kidding. Zaza must have some sort of passive or part of their special that bypasses defensive buffs. Let's hit Zaza again. And then I'm gonna hit this yellow dragon. Of course, Orichalc hit the one on the left without the counterattack. And maybe Orichalc will die from the sand touch damage. Not quite. We'll let him die this time instead of using a special. Get Naeem to kill off the last one with the sand touch damage, and we ended up going 5 for 5 today. Went pretty smooth. I lost 2 matches yesterday in day 2 after going 5-0 in day 1. Defense has been pretty poor this week. We've got an E rating. Finally won a couple battles, actually, though. So we're in the top 5% right now at 78-48, so close to the top 1%. If I have good days on day 4 and day 5, then we should be able to get top 1%. Let me know how your Bloody Battle raid tournament is going, and that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy or found it helpful, and if you did, hit that like button, make sure you're subbed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.